Every year, teams in the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge make short movies showcasing disability in its many forms.
These films are starring and created by people with disabilities.
We want to be heard. We want to show you what we are capable of doing.
We are out there and we have a lot to offer.
I knew I didn't have the best equipment, but I've got stories.
I have so much to say.
Don't think that you have to be Hollywood.
Because of this Disability Film Challenge, lives have changed.
It's a game changer for your career.
The film challenge literally made history.
Honestly, the world is better for it, and we're better for it.
You can see that it's making an impact, affecting the studios and the networks and everybody else.
We have to keep going, and we can grow, and that is the right attitude to have.
If you're not sure what it would be like to work with someone with a disability, then do it.
To be able to have the opportunity to create was just awesome.
You just gotta think outside the box.
Seeing someone on screen is so important.
Hundreds of films, countless success stories, and ultimately we're changing the way people see disability in Hollywood.
Welcome to the 10th annual Easterseals Disability Film Challenge Meetup. Woo! Okay, 10 years, and the man who created it himself is here, and here he is, Mr. Nic Novicki! Yay! Woo!
I love entering like I'm a wrestler. So one more time, welcome everybody!
Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna get Nic now. We got the audience there. Now we're gonna focus on Nic himself.
Right.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Nic.
For those of you that don't know me, I am Nic Novicki. I'm the founder and director of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge, and I am so honored to be here live at Performing Arts Studio West. We have people tuning in from all over the world. Hello, welcome everybody to our participant meetup event. For those of you that don't know what the Film Challenge is, it's a 5-day filmmaking competition where you need to have somebody with a disability in front of or behind the camera. Now, these films have to have somebody with a disability, but the films don't have to be about disability. It's just about including people with disabilities in front of and behind the camera. We do year-round workshops, seminars, and networking opportunities. But most importantly, these films are leading to jobs in Hollywood. Woo! Yes. And I'll tell you, David, we have you in the Zoom. We're going to be talking today to a film challenge judge who will be talking about what he likes to see in a film. We're going to screen winning films, and we're going to talk to some of those winners. And we're also going to get a chance to, if you have questions about the film challenge, we're going to make that interactive. And guess what? This is such a successful workshop and meetup event that we're doing a part 2 tomorrow, where we're going to be giving more information about how to direct, how to produce, how to edit. And we're going to be talking to Lachi. It's the recording artist for musicians with disabilities, RAMPs. So we're going to be talking to members of RAMPs tomorrow about music and working with musicians with disabilities. So how cool is that? And I'll tell you what, again, when I'm looking around here, it feels so good to be back here at Performing Arts Studio West. Now, during the pandemic, we've continued to do our annual workshop, and we've done it remote. But this is the first time I'm back in person here, and it feels great to be here. But the best thing is, I've seen so many of you continue to take your career in your own hands. You've been part of the Film Challenge. You've been acting in projects. And we have people tuned in from all over the world that may want to work with you as an actor. And I encourage you all to take part in the Film Challenge. So those tuning in and you don't know anything about the Film Challenge, again, if you go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, you will just register between now and March 27th. That's when registration is done. And then you will have 5 days during March 28th to April 2nd to write, shoot, edit, and complete your 1 to 5 minute films. Now, normally we don't give you any of the assignment until the start of the challenge, but this is the 10th anniversary and it is very special. So we decided, let's give the genre this year a little early. So you guys excited to hear what the genre is? Yay! This year's genre is romance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because as people with disabilities, we have these stories to tell. We are not seeing ourselves authentically represented in romance stories. So we are going to make these ourselves. Last year, we had a record-breaking 95 films that were created from all over the world, and we are excited to hopefully break that record later this year with romance films. So it's going to be amazing, and if this is something that you want to do, and you're thinking to yourself, hey, I've always wanted to act, I've always wanted to make a film, this is your time. This is your time where you can take your career in your own hands. You can register. We have a 50% alumni discount code that is available for everybody because you're all alumni having taken part in our workshops. And ultimately, this is the best prize package we've ever offered. If you win, you're going to win $2,000 grants provided by Comcast, NBC, Universal, Dell Technologies Computers. You're going to win memberships to IMDb Pro and Adobe Creative Cloud, plus amazing mentor meetings. Now, the best thing is, though, regardless of if you win or if you are nominated, we have success stories where we have our sponsors and our participants and people that tune in, and they will be looking to hire people from your films. So no matter what, you end up winning by taking part in the film challenge. And it's all about community, because as people with disabilities, we're talented and we're ready to work. And I feel so honored that we've been able to do that through the film challenge. Now, we're going to start talking in a minute to a film challenge judge, and we're going to hear from him. David, is Richard Pro?
He sure is.
How great is David Zimmerman in the background?
I'll just say hello for a second.
I feel like I'm on Wheel of Fortune. We got Sajak in the background over there. Richard.
Yes.
Hey! How about we give a big round of applause to Richard Probst? Richard is a professional critic with a disability that works out of Indianapolis, Indiana. Now, we do screenings at film festivals around the country and the world, including Holly Shorts, including New Filmmaker LA, and including the Heartland Film Festival, which Richard Probst actually has an award named after him in this Academy Award qualifying festival. Now, Richard, you've been a part of the film challenge for several years now. Can you talk about what you like to see in films, or give advice to an aspiring filmmaker about things that you think are good to include in their film, or things that have really resonated with you as a judge?
Well, for me, I really look at the mission of the film challenge, and I look at, this is an opportunity to showcase the full spectrum of disability, what it means to live with a disability, what it means in this year to love with a disability, to experience romance, and, not just, to move away from, either the immensely sad stories or the inspirational, what Stelian called this, the inspiration porn stories, but, the gray area of what it truly means to live with a disability, and to do that with the giftedness that I've seen. This is my 5th year as a judge. The giftedness that I've seen year after year from filmmakers and actors and writers and editors with disabilities. The talent involved in this film challenge year after year. I mean, last year's 95, entries just kind of left me in awe just to sit there and watch it. And, I think in a way, because I am involved with the Heartland Film Festival, I kind of have an advantage because, Heartland is also a very, in some ways, a mission-oriented Academy Award qualifying festival. And so I'm used to looking for that balance of really well-done films that also accomplish a mission. And so I really look for the talent, which is certainly important, but I also look at, how do you showcase disability? What message are you saying? What do you, are you kind of going beyond the stereotypes?
Yeah, and that's interesting that you bring that up, because something that has always been very important since the beginning of the film challenge was these films do not need to focus in the storyline around people's disabilities. And it's all up to each individual how much they want to showcase their disability or not, and you're going to see that in some of these, because we're going to play the 4 winning films from the 2022 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge in a little bit. Can you talk about, have you seen a lot of people, some stories really embrace their disability and that becomes part of their storyline, but others, they've really, in some senses, it was their decision to, be a wheelchair user that's behind a desk or in certain areas. What have you seen? And I guess for your preference, what do you like to see? I guess it changes depending on the genre, but can you talk about what you like to see? And you sort of alluded to it, but I guess it depends on the film. But are there certain times that you like to kind of see disability just sort of brought up organically, or talk about the process of what?
Well, there is something really exciting about seeing someone tell a story where the character may have a disability, but that's not the story. It's a traditional story. If we're dealing with romance this year, disability is not the story. Romance is the story. And you may be a disabled filmmaker, you may have a disability, you may be an actor in the film, but that doesn't mean it has to be around your disability. And we've seen films like that. We've seen winning films and some incredible films, documentaries and narrative stories that have just really done a marvelous job. For me, if someone really chooses to stress disability as the storyline, I definitely want to see how they're showcasing it, again, the message they're sending. But really, I mean, this is about providing out, like you said, I mean, Hollywood's waiting to tell the stories. They're looking for people who can communicate those stories. And there are so many talented folks who even do this this challenge year after year. And it's fun when, we're sitting there watching television and we see one of them. I mean, that's the biggest thrill in the world, isn't it? It's got to be for you. You started this thing.
Well, it certainly is, but again, this is people taking their career in their own hands. So they're putting themselves in those positions to get those jobs and those opportunities. Now, also, I think something else, you watch all the films, you judge the films, you've been so supportive as a professional critic. Can you talk about the variation of, one, just the diversity of different people with disabilities, and there's so many different stories that have been told, but also in certain films have all the fancy equipment in the world, and they're shooting with big time budgets, or big camera packages, and we've had Oscar winners take part in the challenge, but also we've had people tell a great story and they shot it on an iPhone, literally, or a DSLR camera. So can you talk about that too? I know we've talked about that before, how you love some of these smaller stories. that really were just unique and creative. Can you talk about that for anyone listening?
Well, if you know me, you know my site is The Independent Critic. So I focus on indie films myself. I focus on low budget films that tell a meaningful story and don't necessarily have all the financial advantages. And one of the things I'm really proud of, and we have some amazing judges, and I think you would agree with that for this film challenge. And we're really good at balancing, the films that we, take through to the finalists. It's always a really incredible, diverse group of films that come from a variety of circumstances. I mean, you look at some of them and you can tell, maybe they had better equipment or they had a little more money to work with. Other times it's probably someone who picked up a camera for the first time. And I find both of them really exciting. When they have a story to tell and when they tell it with authenticity and honesty, and they find a unique way to showcase disability or to showcase their talent or to do something special. And I've said there are times when, I prefer to attend that, a $200 film to $1 million film. Why? Because it had heart, a good message, it was well done. And, this is really a great opportunity for a filmmaker or, somebody interested in film on almost every level, again, across that spectrum.
Yeah, and you alluded to our panel of judges, and we truly do have such a great group of judges that watch all these films, including yourself. But what's important too is having people with and without disabilities involved in every level. We have some of the biggest actors with disabilities that serve as judges, Danny Woodward and from Seinfeld and Mark Poganelli, and we also have Jim LeBrecht as a judge, who was nominated for an Academy Award for the movie Crip Camp. And this year we have a new judge in Judy Heumann, who is the story of Crip Camp. And has been an international disability rights advocate. And so we have so many critics and executives. We have the founder and CEO of IMDb as a judge. So it's truly, an amazing group that watch the films. But again, as Richard said, it's about telling the story. And so whether you have a giant, the camera package where they're going to shoot Titanic, that could be great and amazing if you have that. But we've seen films that were shot on DSLR cameras that, just as Richard said, had that heart, and they were able to get themselves out there. And it led to amazing opportunities where they've screened at 100 festivals around the world, and they've been hired in front of and behind the camera. So really, step one is tell your story and get involved. And if you're a filmmaker and you're like, well, I don't know somebody with a disability, I guarantee you do, because 1 in 4 Americans has a disability. We are the largest minority population in the country and the most underrepresented. So the Film Challenge is literally changing those numbers by all of you making your own films. And I guarantee you, if you put it out there on your Facebook, on your Instagram, you say, hey, I need somebody with a disability to be part of my team. You're going to have somebody. It's 1 in 4 Americans have a disability. And right here, I'm looking at an unbelievably talented group of actors and artists with disabilities right here at Performing Arts Studio West, and they're available. And if you want to contact anyone from there, in a minute, I'm going to bring up Diana Elizabeth Jordan, who will be the contact if you want to work with an actor here at Performing Arts Studio West. So I'm going to bring up in a minute, our winner of the 2016 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge Best Actor Award, as well as the star of a couple films that have won the Best Film Award, the Best Director Award, and he's also gone behind the camera. So both of these talented individuals, Danny Gomez and Diana Elizabeth Jordan, are going to come up here in a second and talk about their experience, and then set up our winning films. We're going to screen those films, and then we're going to get a chance to talk to some of those winners. And this is the time where you'll be able to ask questions to them about their experience, Danny and Diana and David Zimmerman will ask them questions. I'll ask questions. But if you have questions in general, please, this is a time where we're after that. You're going to be able to ask me any question you want. You know where to find me. I'm reachable. So can we give Richard Probst a round of applause for coming out here? Let's bring on the stage Diana Elizabeth Jordan, our 2016. Who has won multiple years, and thank you so much, Diana, for all your support. Diana's no stranger to the Performing Arts Studio West here. You guys know who I am, right? I'm a mature Black woman. I'm wearing a blue and white polo dress. I have one of the fads. This is not going to do this, but I did. Just a little thing. We just need a little speaking up. Oh, okay, guys. That better? It's better. It froze for a moment, but we can hear it better now. I am Diana Elizabeth Jordan. I'm a Black woman wearing a blue and white polo dress, and I was the 2016 Best Actor winner, the 2018 or 19 Best Production nominee. I've been involved with the film festival since I became involved in the second year. So I've been involved in some way ever since I'm hoping to come. Anyway, one more thing. This doesn't know I'm gonna do this. I think Nic, we love you. And we are all here because Nic had this amazing dream to create opportunities not only for himself, but for all of us, and to watch it grow from my first year to what it is now. This has grown in 10 years to an internationally recognized film festival in 10 years. And this is all because of Nic, and not only did he manifest the dream for himself, he manifested the dream that manifests for all of us. And Nic, happy anniversary. We love you, and we're so grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Diana. And it means so much, and your talent and your support, it means everything. We're gonna get a chance to watch the winning films from last year, and then we're all gonna talk to those winning filmmakers. I want to ask both of you too to talk to Danny. And then I want you to answer the same question too. So Danny, you've been a part of this since I believe 2018, and you've had a couple films that have gone on to win awards. You've been nominated several years. Can you talk about your experience, and what would you have to say to somebody tuning in that is thinking about taking part in the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge for the first time? What would you tell them?
Yeah, first of all, my name is Danny J. Gomez. I'm a Latino male, wheelchair user, spinal cord injury warrior. I'm wearing a gray blazer and a pink shirt with some fresh white kicks. I was part of the 2018 challenge, my first challenge. We won Best Film. I was completely terrified, as I know maybe some of you are. Maybe it's your first time and you're having these thoughts, these trepidations that you don't want to do it because you don't want to put yourself out there. But let me tell you that it completely changed my life as an artist, as a person, as a human being. It showed me that there's this few hugs. We're gonna send all the love. Just put yourself out there. You have an idea, put it out there, make the film, be part of the community, because you'll come back every year. And I'm telling you, you're gonna feel so rewarded. Even if you don't win, you're gonna keep wanting to do better, and it's all about being part of this amazing community. So thanks, Nick.
Well, thank you. Now, can you talk about that first time where you had that award ceremony, you know, and in 2018, when your film won, you were on stage and it was an emotional everything, you know? Can you talk about that experience and, you know, getting signed with your agent or any other opportunities that have come up for you?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. So first of all, I was only 2 years post-injury. So up to that point, I thought my life was over. I didn't know that this was an actual career that I could have. So I remember I was sitting over there by the stage, like the end of the stage, not thinking that I was gonna win. I was just happy to be there. And then when they called our film best film, Checkmate, I couldn't even believe it at first. And the tears started coming to my eyes, and to look out at all my peers and be part of all these amazing films and to be able to win best film, it really was one of the best days of my life. And I can't thank Nick enough for allowing me to be part of it. What was the second part of the question?
No, I mean, you got an agent out of this.
Oh, yeah.
You've been working in TV, all these things that came from that one, you know, from being a part of this.
So I had one of those stories where an agent approached me while we were in the lobby waiting for the show to start. And she's like, here's my card. We all know Gail Williamson. Let's pull it up. Come on.
Yeah.
Gail, KMR. Thank you for everything you're doing, leading the charge in inclusion and diversity in the film industry. But yes, because I did this film, I got the agents, I got the opportunities. Now I'm a working professional going on auditions, and you have to put yourself out there. If you want to be at that level, this is a great way to start, because it is possible. I did it. I didn't think it was possible, and it really fulfilled my life. And I'm still going, and I do it every year. And this year I'll be directing for the second time, and Diana will be in one of my films.
Ooh! Did we just make an announcement?
Yeah. Hey, baby, it's up in the air, but hey, you'll have to get it in.
Yeah. Diana is, you know, she's a free agent. She's like LeBron James. You got a quarter. Now, Diana, too, you know, you've been a part of this since year 2, when there wasn't as many films as there are now. You've been a part of this. She was on SWAT. She got on CBS SWAT.
I had to look at tomorrow more all day long. It was very, very difficult.
Oh yeah.
I suffer from my art.
So Diane, can you talk about, and then in a minute we're going to actually play the winning films, and we'll get a chance to talk to those filmmakers. But you went from winning Best Actor in 2016, and again, it was a very emotional when you won that award. It really was just such a great culmination and a beautiful moment when you won that award.
Right.
But then you ended up stepping behind the camera. What motivated you to do that?
You know, that's really good. I have done some directing here. This is the film that studio class. In our 20th, anniversary about doing theater. For actors with disabilities. So I'm directing, co-directing some projects. Here, and I really got that, and I thought, I have no idea if I will like it or not, but I'm working with Corey Reader, who's been a mentor, a friend, and we've done a couple projects together. So I think, I think I'd like to try directing. So we said, well, next year, why don't we do that? So for 2019, it was, I sat behind the camera. And
you got
it was ICANN, of course, produced it, Aaron wrote it. It was a really incredible, and Aaron sounded good. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the.
No, you did great. Well, you could watch that movie ICANN. You could watch all of Danny's films and Diana's films through our website. Again, if you go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, step one, you need to register. You'll need to go through those steps that'll walk you through how you register, how you get your teams together. And it's going to lead to all these different opportunities. But most importantly, it's also going to broaden your community, your network, and you're going to put yourself in a position to be around other talented people with disabilities. Now, tomorrow, one more plug too. Diana is going to be leading a moderation with editors, with director, producer, composers, ramps. So if you have you want to work with composers with disabilities, Diana will be asking all those questions. So we hope you're all going to tune back tomorrow to learn more about all these things. Now we're about to share the winning films, but we will be back on stage to talk to those filmmakers. Look at that. I just happen to have a poster, which is almost the same size as me, to show you guys what who these winning films are, and we're going to see them in a minute. So do you want to introduce the films that we're about to see?
Do all four one at a time. All four.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I am so thrilled to introduce the 2022 winning films, and it was great to do a live back and forth. That was a wonderful ceremony that we got to be a part of. So the winning films for the Easterseals Film Challenge 2022 that you're going to see are Mac and Cheese, ILY, 7, and Superheroes Inc. I've seen them all. They're really great films, and I hope you love and enjoy them too.
Now we're going to watch these films and we're going to talk to the filmmakers. If you have questions about, asking Diana questions, Danny questions, myself, or the winning filmmakers, or just questions about the challenge, please talk to us in the chat. I'm going to answer all those questions in the group Q&A. Hold that question, because at the end, we're going to go through all Q&A. So without further ado, here are the winners of the 2022 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge.
Congratulations on your role, Queen.
Those smell so good.
Thank goodness, I'm so thirsty.
Oh, no, thanks. I'll stick with the juice. It's not worth the med interaction. Champ, however, is a huge drinker. But he only drinks the finest liquor.
As he should.
I went to a call last week for a literal disabled character, and guess where my audition was?
Somewhere accessible.
Oh.
The irony.
It's like they love our stories, but they don't love us. People find us so unfamiliar that it makes them uncomfortable.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Do you need a hand?
I got an extra foot if that helps.
Oh, actually.
What is it? Don't pull down on me.
I'm just so sick of it having to be the main conversation or having to explain why a date is not accessible.
Or explain by how the sex works.
They shouldn't be asking when it takes my 20-year-old metal detector faster to find buried treasure than it takes for men to find where X marks the spot.
It's like we're a different species.
That the last girl that I dated, she was convinced that I had super sight to make up for being deaf.
Odd questions.
Right? I have 20/20 vision and deaf ears, not superpowers.
Amen to that. Cheers. Cheers.
Except for not having to listen to ableist idiots.
Wait, hold on.
Mr. Gordon? Hi, I'm looking for Mr. Gordon. Elder Brown said he'd be expecting me.
You're late. Shut the door.
I'm sorry, I missed the bus.
That's why you plan ahead. Sit down.
It won't happen again, Mr. Gordon.
Sit up straight and cross your legs. Seven. Do you know what a slayer is?
Yeah, you mean Rihanna?
I'm being serious.
Me too.
Okay, let's get started.
What exactly are we doing? I'm kind of in the dark.
Do you know who you are?
I think so.
You are born to be a champion. 7. But a good champion needs to be trained. This is not an easy task. There will be more bad days than good. That's why there's 2 important concepts that you must learn as you begin your training. You'll be here every day on time, and you must be willing to do the work. You understand?
I understand. But I didn't sign up for this. But if Elder Brown insists, then I trust him.
We will start with the mental, which includes your attitude. Your mindset must be renewed. If you believe you can do it, you will. But if there are any doubts or hesitation, you will fail.
Excuse you?
Feel me without seeing me.
Left.
No, do it again.
Right.
No! Tap into your senses. If you are in tune with the spirit, it will guide your instincts. No! Trust yourself.
This isn't making sense.
You're not even trying.
I'm not getting this.
You don't have to getting it. It's not about getting and understanding. It's about letting yourself in this moment. That's it. Okay? You don't have to.
I don't know what Elder Brown expected me to do, but I'm not who you think I am.
I don't have to know who you are. You have to know who you are.
That was beautiful. My mentor, Elder Brown, he used to play that song for us when we were scared.
Do you know the lyrics?
When I am weak, be strong for me. Oh Lord, please be my strength. Thank you. Hello? Mr. Gordon? I'm ready now.
Go! Faster! You can do it! 3, 2. You can do it! Yes! Stand up! One more! Faster! Faster! Go! 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 Hit! Fighting is all about stamina.
Same time tomorrow, Mr. Gordon?
Hi, good morning. They told me I could come in?
Yep, you're next. Have a seat.
Thank you.
Okay. So you're interviewing for the junior hero position, is that right?
Yes. Can I ask you?
It says here that you're telekinetic. That's very unique. We don't get a lot of that, and there is a huge need for telekinetic heroes in our crime-fighting division.
I actually wanted to ask you
what is the largest sized object you've moved with your mind?
A car once, but it takes a lot of...
And you understand that since this is an entry-level role, you'd be primarily using your powers for low-level crime fighting to start? Bylaw enforcement, graffiti prevention, and the like?
Gotta start somewhere, right? I was wondering...
Loads of room for advancement, though. Once you vanquish a few minor villains, you'll be eligible for an annual bonus and a cape.
Do you have any disabled employees?
Ew. I see from our background check that for several weeks in 2005 you were an inspiration on social media?
Yes. Someone recorded a video of me walking out of a grocery store.
Because...
Well, I wear headphones because loud noises can be overwhelming. And I occasionally struggle with mobility, and I guess they felt me buying my own... groceries was special. From time to time, I experience involuntary tics. I sometimes need a cane for...
Wow. So what you're saying is you're...
I'm what?
You're like... actually...
telekinetic?
You know.
Looking for a job?
Special needs.
What?
I'm concerned this isn't going to work out.
Why not?
We actually have met our quota for telekinesis.
But you said...
It is so amazing that you're able to buy your own groceries, though. Very inspiring. Would you be okay if we put a still from that video on the cover of our shareholder magazine? They love to see inclusion in action.
Does that mean I'd get the job?
Oh, heavens no. We would like to use you as an example of something inspiring, though. Inspiration is very on brand for superheroes.
You know that telekinesis doesn't involve physical strength or agility, right?
Oh, I am sure you are very capable.
And I'd be able to fulfill all conditions of the role, thanks to the flexible accommodations I saw in the job listing. Flex time, working from home.
Oh, those aren't accommodations. Those are employee perks. We don't have the capacity to accommodate for accommodations. I am so inspired just sitting here listening to you talk. We do have an unpaid internship position in our diversity and inclusion department.
I'd much rather fight crime and get paid.
Look, a big part of this job is public perception. We have an image to maintain.
I see.
So I'm sure you understand why you wouldn't be a great fit. It's a company culture thing. Can you imagine a superhero portrait with headphones and a cane? I mean, just imagine.
The laser eye guy wears sunglasses.
Oh, well, that's different. That's to keep him from incinerating the photographer.
An accommodation, if you will.
But it's different. He has a six-pack.
Would it help if I showed you my abs?
Oh, that is very inappropriate. See, this is the kind of thing we're worried about. Sometimes, differently abled people... Oh!
Oopsies.
What's up?
Not much.
Is that Mark's mac and cheese?
Kinda.
That's not cool.
Whatever, it's just mac and cheese.
Dude, he got so mad last time. He told you like 40
What
times.
up?
Is that my mac and cheese?
It was over the line.
Here we go.
What the heck?
You're a very talented chef.
Manny, if you want to go to the grocery store, we can cook together. I want to help you, but this is getting out of control. You can't keep eating my stuff.
I'm sorry.
What is this, like the 5th time we've had this conversation this week about responsibility?
I said I'm sorry.
I love you, man, but you're being a really bad friend right now, okay? We're here for you. We want to support you, but you have to help yourself first. You need to start taking care of yourself a bit more. We're here for you. We want to help you, but it's got to start with you, bro.
What's up?
What the?
Is that Mark's mac and cheese?
That's not cool.
What up? Is that my mac and cheese?
I was just putting it back.
Dude, you can't keep doing this. This is getting ridiculous.
What's up?
Nothing.
Is that my mac and cheese? Yo, I'm making mac and cheese. You want some?
No. Absolutely not.
Man, he hasn't done his dishes in like a week.
Manny, did you get the toilet paper? Oh, this is not gonna be good for anybody.
Sorry.
No way! No way! Come on! No! 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 Cheers!
Manny. 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 Hi, Manny.
Die?
Don't be scared.
Are you God?
No.
Am I dead?
No, you're just in a liminal space.
Why do you have a dog?
Because he's cute.
That's... You're right, he is cute.
Manny, I'm here because you've been given a gift. We've been given a gift. We can do something a lot of people wish they could.
Go back?
I want to tell you something that I wish I knew when I inherited this gift. You're going to want to go back and try to fix things. But you're not going to be able to because you're human, and humans mess things up. It's not about trying to fix the things you've done wrong in the past. It's about trying to do your best in the present. So, Manny, what are you going to do?
All right, how about those winning films? Woo. Now we're gonna bring those winning filmmakers on stage, and we're gonna make this an interactive conversation where Danny and Diana will ask some questions. If you have questions for any of our winning filmmakers, feel free to ask them. David?
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey.
Now, are you, we have one question from the audience here as you're spotlighting everybody, our winning filmmakers.
Yes.
You know, we can, we'll ask them some questions. But first, let's answer this question right here. How's it going?
The name of the first movie I made, that was a horror video that was speed dating.
Speed dating.
Speed dating.
Yes.
Yeah, that
So-
was, and Patrick was in that too.
So that was, make sure to check that out, Speed Dating. If you go to the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge YouTube channel, you can watch. Yeah.
That was 2015.
2015. So we have, I see, look at this on screen. We got Jennifer Monzingo. We got Summer Kabuchia here. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Hi guys.
So Summer Kabuchia was nominated for Best Actor. He won the Best Film Award with his movie Mac and Cheese, which you just saw. And so welcome.
Thank you.
We have Jennifer Monzingo here, who won the Best Awareness Campaign with her film ILY. Hello, Jennifer. You're on mute.
Can't do it. It won't let me.
You're here.
We hear you now. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Sorry, it wouldn't let me unmute.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. And we have for our Best Writing Award from Toronto, we got Christine Bellinger here with us. So welcome.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much.
That's
Great to
awesome.
see everyone.
Now, this is a question for everybody. Can you talk about what was the planning of this? And if you have a question for them as well. But my first question is, can you talk about getting your team together? Were you planning for a long time, or was this something that came together, kind of last minute? And talk about your experience. Then we're gonna have Danny and Diana ask questions. I've already seen some hands raised in the chat, so make sure if you have questions, ask in the chat as well, to them and also to us. So this one goes, let's start with Summer. Talk about putting your team together and what was the experience like?
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. So as far as the actual doing of it, I got everybody together kind of within a week, but in wanting to put everybody together, that was a much longer process because it was a bunch of people, friends and peers that have been together since freshman year of college, and people that I've wanted to collaborate with for a long time. And so I was able to just put everybody together to make Mac and Cheese. And we won, and we're really happy about that.
Jennifer, can you talk about you and we got Chrissy here, your filmmaker?
She is not here, but she and I literally because we
she's
live.
here. She's here.
I'm here now.
I
Oh,
made
there
it.
she is. There she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
There-
very disability-esque. I had a doctor's appointment.
Hey, we all relate to that, right? We all been to the doctors. This is a group where we use our insurance cards.
That.
So look at that dog too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
This is a question for both of you. Have you known each other for a long time? Was this something you wanted to do a film together for a while, or talk about working together in your experience?
I'll go ahead a little bit first. That's okay. I met Jen at the dog park, actually. Jen and I were just friends, and the disability community is we're fortunate to work like that, in the way that like we see other disabled people and we have like an immediate amount of solidarity between each other. So I think me and Jen were really lucky to have that. And then as far as the other people, I cannot emphasize how much social media has introduced me to so many amazing disabled actors. I'll let Jen kind of take off of it.
No, we literally live 2 blocks apart. And there happens to be two other wheelchair users at the same park. And North Hollywood is extremely inaccessible, but we all ended up living here.
Well, that's cool. Diana, talk to the camera.
Oh, okay. And I have a question for you because you won the social awareness campaign. So if you can explain a little bit about what that is, why it's important, and then what were some of the steps? Because it is a business. You're going to market the film. That's what the social media campaign is about. So if you can explain a little bit about that process and how you were able to get so many views, that would be great. Thank you.
I can't hear.
She said, so talk about a little bit of, if I clarify correctly, talk a little bit about the process and how we got different views involved into the project. And so we had numerous different characters, and we wanted to make sure we got a perspective of each disabled person, and made sure they shared their own experience, and that the writing was accurate and connected with them appropriately. I think was the most important thing.
Then when it came to the actual social media campaign, what did you do for that?
For social media campaign, what did you do for that?
For the awareness campaign, talk about your campaign.
Oh, sorry. It's a little fuzzy. I'm sorry. Our awareness campaign is, to be honest, we got really lucky. I come from a social media family who all supported. And through those connections, through different collaborations, we were able to get ourselves out there. And then Chrissy's also on social media. And we did different lives on the different apps. So yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, again, there's different award categories. There's best film, there's best director, there's best actor, best editor, and this best awareness campaign where you have to get as many likes, views, and shares for your films during our 10-day awareness campaign. And
Nick, I do have one question.
Yeah.
That might be a good. All of you, of course, have won and gotten your film out there. What would you do differently this time from the last challenge to this year's challenge?
I want to get more traditional media involved this year as a personal challenge, because social media is a lot easier and it is the wave of the future, but I would like personally to challenge myself to get more traditional media to cover it.
And for traditional media, for those that don't know, that's news, news coverage, newspaper, right?
Yeah, newspaper, the news in general, TV shows.
Yeah.
In terms of like improving the quality of filming and everything, for me this year, I'm really hoping to have a DP, and I like an experienced DP. But the hardest part about doing this thing, in all honesty, is like you can't pay people, and obviously disability community is already underpaid, and so you have to be very careful, and you have to make sure you're actually fostering these relationships for the future and connecting with these people. And that's the most important part of it, because the focus isn't on money. So
yeah, you bring up a great point, you know, and really for those of you that are tuning in, know that this is a great opportunity for you to get somebody to work with you. This it's all volunteer. Everybody has to, per our rules, be all volunteer, and SAG-AFTRA, it's deferred payment. But this is a great opportunity for you to work with a cinematographer or great editor that may want to, understand your vision and work for really the one day. on either end. The editors is really something that, you know, we're going to hear more tomorrow from a couple of professional editors with disabilities. But the post-production, it's a lot. And talking about post-production, you did an animated movie. Can you talk about that post-production? You did the whole movie in 5 days, including animation.
Yes, hi, I'm Christine. Liz is sending her regards. She is busy wrapping up something. She's a busy person. Well, the entire production was done remotely. Yeah, so Liz asked me if I wanted to participate, and I said yes. I was first of all blown away because Liz is a very, very, very busy person up here in Canada. So yeah, so that was fantastic. But everything, all the visuals, all of that is all from Liz's mind. So Liz created those fabulous looking creatures. And she did put everything through the process, but everything was done remotely. So I was kind of over the shoulder virtually throughout the entire process. And yeah, so what you see is what we did. So yes, did that answer the question?
Yes, that was great. That was great. Danny, do you have any questions? And then I want to move into questions from the audience here and also from the chat. But Danny, roll up here, get right in that mic.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations on all those films. I know how hard it is to make them. I was going to ask what challenges you came up on making it, if this was your first film. Also, if you have any funny stories to share from your experiences. We all know that you never know what you're getting into when you're making a movie. So there's always some funny things that can happen. We can talk about that.
I'll bite. So
yeah, how much mac and cheese did you have to eat? Because it looked pretty good. I'm hungry.
You know, now that I think about it, I don't know if I've eaten mac and cheese since we shot that, so I don't know if it's correlated. But Jake, our editor, actually edited, and he won Best Editor last year as well. He edited it in a day, the last day, because we had finished shooting the night before, which is really, really hard to do. And you know, we're all very proud of him for that. But that was my first time producing anything and my first time producing a film for the challenge. So I was a little shot out of a cannon in that sense. But if I could change anything, I know I'm like answering back questions with the current question. Is just to get your crew ready to go as soon as you can, because that, you know, up until the last minute, if you're trying to get certain people, they might scheduling wise not be able to, and all of that. And just a funny story with even being super last minute, our the person who scored it, Ben Chavez, a good friend of ours, he hadn't even seen a cut of the movie, and he sent in kind of the drum percussion moment at the beginning before the fridge closes. And he hadn't seen anything that we had shot or done, and the snippet that he sent over fit perfectly with what Jake had edited, and there didn't even need to be any cutting done, which is kind of unheard of. And we were all very excited about that. And for craft services, I got to serve everybody Dominican food, which was delicious.
Wow, look at that. I want to come over and eat some Dominican food.
Oh, it's great.
So what about you guys? We open that question up to the others.
Let's see, here we go. I see a few questions out there. Let me just get this. The one question I had, and I know you're hearing my voice, another question I had was, I mean, you made a film. What is it? Why do you want to make another film? Why do you want to do the challenge again? You've done it once, but there's a reason that you want to do it again.
We'll let Jennifer take this one first.
Yeah.
Me? Oh. I haven't like finalized like if I'm going to be on a team or anything yet, but I really like, for me, the genre is really cool and undervalued. And so when I heard that, I was kind of on the fence. And then when I heard the genre, I was like, well, that's could be really powerful.
Yeah. Well, that's, and again, romance is the genre this year. So for those of you that are wondering, and if you're wondering what some of those other elements within the assignment, you could go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, hit the challenge tab, and go to the past challenges. And it will show what different props that need to be incorporated, or themes, or locations to choose from. Again, we won't announce that until March 28th, and you won't get that unless you're registered by March 27th through both our website and Film Freeway.
Well, we have Crystal Rivers here.
Hey!
Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, well.
I'm curious, when did you sleep during this process? How long were your shooting days? What was that like?
Christine?
Any of the filmmakers can answer that.
Yeah, we'll start with Christine on this one, and then we'll go down the line.
Awesome.
Christine, did you hear the question, or do you turn this way?
Oh, no, I'm hearing now. I did not hear the question. Could you please repeat?
How many did you sleep? What was your schedule like making your film?
Well, let's just say Liz was exhausted at the end of the 5 days for sure. Yeah, so she kicked into hyper focus and did everything she could in terms of animation, but overall I think got by on something like 3 to 4 hours sleep per night, but it's worth every moment that you stay awake for it. I promise you.
Yeah. That's great.
Awesome.
David, anybody else that has a question in the chat?
Yes, let's get, there's so many. We could go on for hours for this one. Let's see, Carla, there's Carla here. I'm gonna try to find you here. I know you're in the chat.
Look at that, 72 people are tuned in for this. That's a record.
My brain is like scanning everything.
How about we get a round of applause for David Zimmerman, all the technical team of Performing Arts Studio West, Chardell, John Jesus.
Well, let me also thank, while you've got that, I want to thank Hope Simon and Angela Robertson for their interpreting. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And of course, Christine Brown for all the videos and all that. So let's see. I see. Yes.
We also want to give out a shout out to John. He couldn't be here today, but John, we're thinking of you and we love and miss you very much.
Yes, we do. Mr. Pace is the head of Performing Arts Studio West. Listen, well, Carla wrote, how can actors find and get in touch with teams? I'm hoping to participate for the team the first time and having trouble finding a team to join.
Well, I'll open that up to other people, but I always say the best way to do this, and this is for everybody, is put it out there on your own social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on email, your friends, your family. Say, look, I registered for this. Here's all the amazing opportunities. Who wants to partner with me? Who knows how to shoot on a camera? Who knows how to edit? If you put yourself out there, people will help you. But step one is registering. I think, and I'll let that be to other people. How did you find your teams, Danny, Diana, and the winners that are there?
Let's let the winners go first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chrissy?
Well,
We got a dog. I'm kidding.
Unmute. There we go. Chrissy?
Hi. Am I, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Cool. rhythm. Yeah, I want to go back to the question before that said like, why are you doing it again? If that's okay. I'm just
Sure.
gonna
Yeah.
share that because I think that's important because the first time I did this, like I'm really proud and was really enjoy working with the group of girls, but I always want to do better, and I think I definitely can do better. And I think as filmmakers, I think that's what we all strive to do. So I think that's definitely one of the reasons. But also, winning, I was able to see like we were introduced to a lot of amazing people, and so uh, obviously, I want the opportunity to show even better work to these people. So that's the main reason I'm doing it again. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, as far as finding a team, I was lucky enough to keep it in my friend group, so we didn't really have to go outside of that. But like people are doing in the chat right now, they're sharing their information, sharing that, you know, they're interested in participating. I see people putting in emails. There's a bunch of meetups, much like this one that Nick hosts and all of those things, and going to those and being a part of those and part of the community is a good way to meet people and just exchange information. I'm not really on social media anymore, but I'm sure there's Facebook groups and things like that you can join. And I'll also jump on the why do you like doing the Disability Film Challenge question, just because it's actually a really good one. I've been doing it for like 5 years at this point, and every year I started doing it while I was in college, and every year it's been a chance to feel like I'm an actor by trade, but so feel like you have kind of ownership over your career, where a lot of times you're deferring to someone else for a job, or you're deferring to someone else for an opportunity to do what you love to do and what you want to do. And the film challenge every year, even if it was a light year acting wise, job wise, it was always something that I was very passionate about, and I was able to do and give my 100% to, whether you win or not. And it this last year too, even with or without having won, it kind of energized everyone that was a part of it for us in a interesting way, you know, and we all kind of got a fire lit under us to move forward with projects and things. So thank you for giving us this opportunity, as always.
We have Scott Matthew.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Oh,
You're muted,
You're
Scott,
muted.
you're muted.
You're muted. We can't hear.
There you go.
There. Hey. Remember me, Diane? Huh.
I do remember you, Scott. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Yeah, doing great, Eric. So, Diana, are you on a team this year still?
She's being recruited here live.
She's being pulled in multiple teams here.
So let's
Diana.
No. I feel very blessed. I'm being recruited. So.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, so what team are you on this year, huh?
She's being put on the spot. See, here, this is the beauty of it too. If I can, I'll be political here. She's still, you know, she's helping. Also, Diana is the coordinator here at Performing Arts Studio West. So if you're a filmmaker and you're looking to use an actor with a disability, you can contact Diana about that. But she's got a lot of people contacting her about her film.
And Anita, you can put in the chat. If you're interested in an actor here at Performing Arts Studio West, if you go to our website, which is pastudiowest.com, and you can contact me at Diana at pastudiowest.com. You know, if you're interested, we have over 72 actors. So please come look at our website, and I will be working with that. Again, Diana at PA Studio West gmail.com. That's my email for here. Was actually, if I do hope to add this year on the thing, we'll just take it from there. It was very flattering to be appreciated, and I do want to say that. I feel very humbling. So,
And remember also, if you can't find a team to be on, you can make something on your own. If it comes down to that, all you need is a cell phone camera, maybe a microphone if you have it, and all it takes is just an idea and the drive and put it out.
We've had films that were shot on phones that ended up being nominated and ended up winning awards, and people have gotten hired to literally film in another country from just shooting it themselves with a phone, because it lives and die with the story. Something we didn't talk about, we had that Best Writer award, but again, you don't need all the fancy equipment to tell a great story. So at the end of the day, it helps when you do have that extra production equipment. But if you're able to really, speak from the heart as a filmmaker and, do great acting and great writing, it's a big, leg up.
I disagree with the camera, but
well, that's okay to agree or to disagree. But the thing is, I would say though, you want to have these the better you get in terms of, making a film, the more equipment you get as a progression, it's going to look better on camera. It's going to be better. But by entering it with where you are, you're still putting yourself out there, where we have networks, studios that literally go to the challenge and our alumni and put us into different programs. And that is all because people take that step and make a film on their own. So it leads to those opportunities. But of course, we all want to challenge ourselves to make our films as good as they can be. And so by using what you have, you can still participate, but it's a progression. We have some people that are done with the film in April or May, and they start putting together teams in May or June for the following year. They're talking to people. They're talking to a big-time cinematographer or a big-time camera assistant and say, hey, would you mind being our cinematographer? Would you mind helping us? And if people are available, you would be surprised if you're able to sell, yourself and your vision, who will join your team.
We have Luke Zimmerman here. Wanted to ask a question.
Hey, Luke.
Hi, Luke.
Hey, how you doing? I know Diana, so very long time.
Hello, how are you, buddy?
But I want to ask a question to SC, the one in hat. How you get involved into the science? How you get a team together? How you create your own film science? How you get your own team together? 'Cause I want to figure out how I do it that way.
Sure. So, luckily, in college, I met a lot of super talented people, cinematographers, DPs, editors, actors, because I went to acting school. And through the years that I had done the film challenge with David Harrell producing, I never got to make my own movie. And so this year I was able to put all of those people together. And they just happened to be in my group chat. So it's literally my best friends in New York City that I just asked to do this with. So I was very lucky in that regard. If that isn't necessarily your network, I would, like before, look at the chat. A bunch of people are listing. I keep seeing Facebook groups being listed where you can post your information. You could just drop your information right now, probably, and people could become a part that way. So you'd probably have to pull around to these groups and the community in that sense. But I was lucky that I was able to just reach out to my dearest and closest friends. Yeah.
The most important part is you have to have an idea or something you're passionate about. Just one thing. Even if it's a small interaction you've had, even if it's just a ridiculous interaction you've had, use that to spark an idea or story that you really care about, and then just tell everyone you know about that story. And when people see your passion, they get on board.
Yeah, and going off of that too, Chrissy, that is the most important part, because then you can, like we've kind of said in the chat and on these questions, you can do it on an iPhone with a small group. You don't necessarily need to have this huge team. Not saying do it alone and don't look for anybody, but if you have a couple of friends that are able to hold the iPhone while you act, or you hold it while someone else acts, that's enough to do a film for this challenge that could go on to win. So don't think you need some big a production number to be a part of it.
And a hint for everyone who wants production quality, not that my phone was a testament to it, but lighting and the depth of your blocking of where your people are the only things you need for cinematography. You can have too light and a large room, and that'll make your voice, it'll make it cinematic, I think.
And
honestly,
you're,
it's the most important part.
You're bringing up something that is very important, because tomorrow we have a cinematographer who has a disability, who is a union cinematographer, who will be talking about camera work and lighting. We have an editor talking about, Scott Klum, who won Best Editor with his film Autism Ability. We'll be talking about editing. So, and then directing and producing from Carl Hansen, who worked with Danny on his films, and Diana. And we're going to be able to talk to those composers. So you're going to hear a lot more individualized advice about how to do, as Chrissy just said, how to light and how to do all these things. So when we do say about that you could shoot your phone, film on a phone, it is really remarkable, I gotta say, now a lot of smartphones can shoot in up to 4K. So unless you're going into a movie theater, I mean, it really does actually in a surprising way. Now, mind you, if you can get a Panasonic package and you could get all the equipment in the world, of course, that's great. But we've had some films that had all that equipment and didn't get nominated and didn't win, because at the end of the day, it really ends up to the story, to the heart, the message within the film, and what's going to resonate with judges. But, Chrissy again brought up another good point about lighting, because if you're shooting on an iPhone, or a smartphone or anything, or even on an iPad, you're going to be able to get good quality picture, but you want to try to have it as light as possible. If you're filming outside, maybe you could have a silk or a screen to block the sun. All these other things that are there. You're going to hear more about that tomorrow.
I'm gonna add, hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, having a great film and package and camera is great, but don't let not having them be the reason you don't try. Because I think, Carl, you never know until you try, guys. I didn't know if I could direct. I still don't know if I could. I didn't know. I had to try it, right? And you just never know until you try, and think of your why. If your why is to create an opportunity for yourself, that's why you should do it. Winning is great, but do it because you want to be a filmmaker.
And in the chat, Cameron Mitchell, who is a Film Challenge participant, and he's that cinematographer that will be there tomorrow to talk about lighting, about camera work. He's a very talented director as well. But so we're going to be able to, if you have more questions tomorrow about any of these specific things, tomorrow is going to be really more in depth about all these skill set things. Today is more general questions about the challenge. We got a question in the audience here. Hey,
my friend, take it away.
What?
Are you going to make a new movie, Diana?
I always have something in the pipe.
She's being recruited in the room here, on Zoom and in the room. Diana. Ah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. But yeah.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you, Ryan. I will. I'm gonna go for it. I think.
And if just so we can hear too, can you repeat the question?
So I'm going to repeat the question. He said that Diana, who said this, if you believe in yourself, you can do
Right.
You can do it.
Right. And yeah, you gotta believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing, is to believe in yourself.
Does everybody believe in themselves here?
Wow, look at this in the chat. Somebody from Seattle says he could, he's willing to travel. You may find a team in Seattle that you could work with too. So, but that's awesome to see. Again, in the chat, really follow this chat because you got so many people. David, can we make some of these chats available for any questions after if people?
I'm gonna have to ask my cohort, Chris. Is there a possibility to get these chats copied?
Well, you know what?
Oh yes, I can forward that to you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Thank you, Chris.
So tomorrow we've got more definition. Yes.
Yes. Tomorrow is all about really in depth, and going through everything. If we want to do what you want to try the speed round where we can get through real quick, speed round questions for the Q&A.
I love it. Well, you know what? We could just wrap it up by everybody, in one last question. We'll do one last question, then we'll wrap it up and we'll see those people tomorrow. I see a Melissa here. Melissa, your hand is up. Are you still there?
I am. Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Hi. Hello.
Hi.
So first and foremost, hi, it's nice to meet every single one of you. And I was so fortunate to be a part of last year's Easterseals, working for the film Pandora with BJ. He's there. Yes. Hi. And I only had a small role, and behind the scenes, I was working as a makeup artist. I was a co-makeup artist at the time. So this is my question for everybody involved, whether it be past, present, or future projects for Easterseals. What is it exactly that you look into working with fellow cast and crew for present projects and future projects having to do with Easterseals? Do you look for experience, authenticity? That's kind of my question, because I've tried to be involved with Easterseals for a long time, but little to no success until last year. So that's my question.
So anybody, that's open to anybody, but we did answer a lot of how, really I think the best way is to put yourself out there on social media, and to really let people know that you want to make a film. And also I would say to be as specific as what you want to do. I would like to act in a movie. I would like to co-write. I'm looking for an editor. I'm looking for a producer. If you do makeup, that's awesome. Maybe you can, when you put those other things, I'll open it up to anybody else.
Yeah, I was also going to say, think about the resources that you can bring to a film. It might be locations. You might have an awesome house that people would love to film in, or you might be friends with the grocery store owner down the street, and you could get a grocery store for your film like I did. Locations are key in making a great film for this challenge because you have such a tight window. So yeah, just think about the resources and what you have to offer, and put those things out there and talk about the role that you would like to have in the project. It doesn't have to be related to the resources that you're offering even necessarily.
Right. Okay.
Now,
may I add to this?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. One of the things that I'm really aiming for in front of and behind the scenes is representation, blended workforce. So I love the idea that it's a 100% disabled generated film, but also if we work with our allies, we learn how to work with each other and how to have those conversations. And I think that's one of the elements where Easterseals Disability Film Challenge can bring all those groups together. So that's what I'm excited about this year.
One small question. I know one of you has brought up social media. What types of platforms do you use? Because the way I usually go about it, I would use Facebook as well as Instagram. Twitter, not so much because of the whole Elon Musk BS.
Yeah, Jennifer, do you have any thoughts on that with social media?
I think it's all of them, and then beat the algorithm with the amount of content you're posting. It's a consistency. And I would recommend having someone there to do like behind the scenes shots and like really interactive stuff where it's more than just like watch our movie, but like people are seeing kind of the magic and the heart that you're putting into it.
And make sure on Instagram you're tagging the film challenge, because people who follow that link or that page will see your post. So that's how you kind of reach a wider audience.
Tag us and also hashtag us, because the same thing, hashtag, you make yourself found. This year the hashtag EDFC 2023, hashtag Disability Film Challenge, hashtag Easterseals. So there's a lot of ways to get yourself out there. I know we're pretty much at time here. So what I want to say is, first of all, thank you again so much to everybody that tuned in to Performing Arts Studio West, to Danny, to Diana, to Chrissy, to Jennifer, to Christine, to Summer Kabucha, to all the filmmakers. We thank you for your talent. Thank you for your support. Tomorrow, we will be back and learning from Cameron about cinematography and lighting and ways to do it within a shortened period of time. We're going to learn about.
If you have to shoot it with the camera, download a Filmic Pro. Do yourself a favor, give yourself more latitude in your digital file. We'll talk more about that tomorrow, about how you can make the most with what you've got.
That's great.
And also there'll be a chance for those who didn't get to ask questions today. There'll be more of a chance. I know Dawn Grabowski wanted to ask some questions. She had some great ones. So definitely come on. And Nick, you have a new trailer, don't you?
We do. We are going to close out with, we've never shown it before at an event, of all the exciting prizes and incentives to take part in the 10th anniversary of the Easterseals Disability Film Challenge. Again, happening March 28th to April 2nd. You need to register by March 27th. Before we show that film, I know we had so much great advice, so many great ideas. And, if you're new to this, let it marinate. And, again, this is all about having a good time and building your network. And whether your first movie is the Titanic or it's, something where it's just a great learning experience, you're broadening your network, you're broadening your horizon, and a lot of helpful things. We've had a lot of questions. If you go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, our website really answers a lot of these questions that I'm hearing in the FAQ page. I saw about SAG-AFTRA safety protocols. It was a question from Dawn. Yes, we follow whatever SAG-AFTRA wants in terms of their COVID testing or protocols. But again, this is a time for you to make your own film. Go to disabilityfilmchallenge.com, hit the challenge tab, and hit past challenges. You'll see what those locations, what the themes, what some of the full assignment will be from past full assignments. You'll be able to see past winning films, but also go to that FAQ page that's going to have a lot of questions that you may be wondering information about. So Diana, Danny, David, everybody, Chris, Chardell, everybody Performing Arts Studio West, John Pazes, thank you so much. To our studio audience, thank you so much.
Basically, after we're done with the film, the audience guys, you guys go up front, we'll set up the lunch, and then we'll come back.
You know, we got to take our photo first, though. Yeah. All right, guys, without further ado, we close with the 2023 Easterseals Disability Film Challenge 10th anniversary promo to learn about prizes.
Easterseals Disability Film Challenge 10th anniversary. Write a script and produce a short film with this year's genre, romance. Win prizes. Increase your visibility. Expand your network. And attend our award ceremony. Open to filmmakers with and without disabilities who want to challenge how disabilities are viewed and inspire change. The challenge is from March 28th through April 2nd. Register before March 27th at disabilityfilmchallenge.com.